easier.
Hello everyone, this is me, Greg, and Amy, and we're going to talk about stuff. Lots of stuff.
Hi.
Alright, so, tonight's, we're pretty much here together having a cup of coffee, and we haven't had a cup of coffee for a while. Usually the kids are always on our case about something, needed something. But right now we got a little break, so we decided let's make a little quick conversation piece together. So,
Coffee time.
coffee time.
Date time at home.
With my wifey. So, what's something good to talk about? Well, we can talk about how we met. Pretty much how it all went down, how the battle royale went down, and how we met each other. We could talk about that. Well, let's see. It all started about what is it now? 18 years ago.
1999.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's like what was 1999? So it's 20, oh my goodness, almost 20 years ago. So it's 19 years ago now.
Yeah, 19.
19 years ago we met, right? So back 1999 is when I met Amy for the first time. And
The summer.
it was like I was actually out doing some street preaching, and anybody know what street preaching is about? I mentioned it before in my other video, but street preaching, what it is about is you go out there and you have a board, and you have some pamphlets, and you hand out pamphlets to people, and also you have a canvas board where you draw pictures, and you tell people about Jesus through pictures and painting, and it's really cool because it's like an artist. It's kind of an artist type thing where you go out there and you just artist and sharing about Jesus, which is really cool. So anyway, so what happens was that I was able to do that, and when I was out there, Amy had volunteered for 1 week with the mission board that we were working with, and when she did that, we met, but we just kind of like ships in the night. We just passed each other. We didn't nothing clicked.
Yeah, we were introduced to each other.
I was like, hi.
By a common friend.
Mm-hmm.
And basically like, hi, I'm Amy. Hi, I'm Greg. Greg said, hi, I'm Greg.
I'm Greg.
And then, we just met each other. And I knew his name was Greg Valentine. And we met in Times Square. This is where he was preaching.
Yep.
And so, basically, I was a single person. He was a single person.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, that's nice. And then, but we still...
Yeah, we had no feelings at all for each other. Nothing right there. We didn't know. So anyway, later she volunteered again. I went back to... My dad had told me I should go back get some more schooling. This is back in 1999. So I was working something with the group I was with, and we were able to rig something to get my degree. And anyway, so without telling all the details about where we went and all that stuff, it just pretty much went to... I worked another year, and Amy volunteered with the mission board we were with I was already a missionary with them.
It was a Bible school.
A Bible school, and so I was able to work with her, and she was able to work with me in close proximity. Like, we were just on the same team, and we had like no interest at all, like for months, and for a long, long time, we didn't care about each other like that. So
just friends.
We're just friends. So we'd hang out and stuff like that, and go places, but we didn't we kind of pursued other people. There were people I was interested in that I was pursuing after, and Amy gave me advice about that, how I should not pursue these people because or it was an angry email I was going to send, and she told me not to send it, and I still sent it anyway, and it destroyed the friendship, and yabba dabba doo. But whatever, Amy tried to warn me not to do it, but I still did it. And we were working together on a team, and it was really cool. And
we used to take college students from the college to New York City and do ministry evangelism. We'd stay in a church building, and we'd go out every day and pass out tracts, pamphlets, and different things, and just so Greg and I became really, really good friends during these trips and everything, and just hanging out through the week, and hanging out even seeing each other on the weekend and different things like that. And
it was like no kind of like chemistry, like people were talking about chemistry and you just know that somebody's there. All I knew was that she was a really cool person to hang out with, and then she was a person that I could talk to about stuff, and I wasn't trying to impress her. So it was already one guard down, one guard down in terms of I didn't have to try and do something to try and win her approval because we were already friends. And that was made a really cool friendship, and this we recommend for people, by the way, that you pursue a relationship with a person who's your friend. Not somebody who you're trying to impress or somebody who makes you like go, wow, that's amazing. No, it's like somebody who you have a lot in common with. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like you see opposites attract. No, it's like opposites repel. You see, we're not magnets, so it's actually likes,
Similarities.
similarities, and likes attract. So you have a lot of things in common that works out better. Like for example, it was like we had a situation where we were helping a friend of ours who was in another situation, and they thought, who can I ask to help me? I'm trying to keep a lot of details out of this, so I don't want to like drop
Give
information and give
specifics.
specifics and stuff like that. And people who are involved in all this, they know who they were and they know who they are, and that's why we made them people, important people in our lives. So anyway, so what happened was like there was a point where we had to help a friend of ours, and he came to me saying that who can I ask to help me except Greg, and then I asked Amy if she can come and help me too, and it was like, so Amy came with me to Albany to visit my sister, and it was around the time of Thanksgiving. Anyway, long story short, it was like we were helping them through a really tough situation, and it was they saw that Amy had really liked me, but I'm a dense male and I didn't know there was any of that, so pretty much I didn't see that there was any like I couldn't tell if there was a like to it. I just knew she was a real good friend, and we both had read this book called I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Joshua Harris, and it was one of those books where it's like it's talks about courtship versus dating, and and later the author just he something else, but nevertheless that book was very very instrumental in our lives. A lot of people who we talked to, that book, the I Kissed Dating Goodbye, was a very instrumental book because like the principles he talked on was based on some sound biblical wise principles that was totally overlooked in our society. Saving your heart, protecting yourself, not giving your heart to everybody who says I love you, but really just kind of giving your heart to a person who is going to be the person you're going to marry. And the best way to do that is through friendship, because I mean, you're going to be that person's friend. You're not going to be, that person's lover and all that stuff. You're going to be first their friend. If you're going to have anything lasting, you're going to have a lot of things in common, because marriage is like it's like a teamwork, And anyway, so Amy and I were on the same team together. We worked together very well, and then after that, we did a lot of like really cool really cool things. So for example, back to the situation, it was during that situation where they told me that Amy really likes me, and I was like, I didn't know. It was like a hit with a ton of bricks, that she liked me.
And it's like I was always told, don't pursue the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you may like the person, you might hang out with the person, that person is so cool and everything, but just don't be like, calling the guy and like, oh, I like you, and here's my number, and call me, maybe, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Here's my number, call me, maybe.
I'm young, maybe crazy. No. Okay, so yeah, don't chase the person. So I was just waiting and waiting. I was praying. I really did like Greg. We were friends. But I felt like I really shouldn't try to pursue the guy. Like look for him and try to manipulate situations to get with him, be with him or hang out with him so, obviously I did like him. But, and we're just getting to know each other. I was kind of like coming from relationships where they were basically not so good for me. And, I went to Bible school, and then I went to, after Bible school, went 4 years of Bible school, and after that I went and taught in a Christian school in Puerto Rico. And then after that, that's when I went up to the Bible school that I had previously attended to work in like an open air kind of ministry. And basically I just was like, oh, forget the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, forget the guys. I'm just going to focus on what I'm supposed to do and do some evangelism ministries and see what happens. See what happens with ministry. See what happens if there's a guy that comes along. Different things like that. So that's how Greg and I just continue to be friends and share times and share laughs and just be cool with each other.
Because we weren't pursuing each other. It was actually we were not pursuing each other that made us attracted to each other, but we didn't know we were attracted to each other until somebody else pointed out to us that we were attracted to each other. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like we just you know, we just kept away, you know, and then so it was like there was like a lot of like, you know, friendship aspects to things, you know, we liked each other, but you know, it was like friendship, you know, but later it became, it was like after somebody pointed it out to us is when I actually sat her down and I said, you know, Aim, I want to pursue a relationship with you that'll end in marriage. It's like, how do you feel about that, girl? You know, and she was like, what's that? And I was like, no. She was like,
I thought you would never
she's
ask.
like, I thought you'd never ask. And I was like, oh snap, because that was around the same time when I was we're helping that friend of ours who was by my sister's house in Albany. I guess in Skellington
So
at that
this
point.
was November of 1999?
Yeah, 1999.
Yeah.
And it was like from then it was just like it was like we went through a series of all kind of things where like, you know, just I mean there's too much story to tell. I mean, okay, fine. There was like an aspect where okay, I had a girlfriend before Amy. I had taken a year between, you know, just kind of like trying to find myself because you know when you go through a situation like a relationship and you really like somebody, that you know what happens and the relationship ends, you have to take like some time to kind of find yourself again and to recenter yourself because what happens is you know you're kind of vulnerable, you know, so you're vulnerable to a lot of things. And it was like in 1998 I became a missionary with the group and then I was with and you know and so after that I had broken up with the girl I was with, you know, because she was going a different way and it was like then she went a different way and then so after that we read the book I Kissed Dating Goodbye and then well, not we but I read it and then pretty much spent a year not pursuing anybody, you know, and then it was like afterward when I met Amy it was like, you know, it was like my friend, you know, and we hung out together, went to Walmart, and one of the things was like we started that journey together, and then there was a part where one I was asking Amy a couple questions, and she said, "Well, I'm thinking about going with this other missionary board," and that really brought back some fears of mine that was like from the previous relationships. I was like, "Well, maybe we should just be friends," but it's kind of weird because we were already friends. When somebody said, "Let's be friends," it's kind of like, you know, friends only, which is kind of like
Not going
anywhere.
forward.
So in a sense, I had to do a little backpedal right there because I was afraid, you know, because of a previous relationship that I had before Amy, and that I was afraid it's going to end the same kind of way, where it's going to break off and then go separate ways. So anyway, long story short, I mean, there's so much more story for Amy to tell, but one critical one was like,
well,
yeah.
this is the thing. I lived with a roommate, and she let me borrow her car. And then and it was in the middle of winter time, and I needed to get to my job, and then I was like, you know, I was kind of upset with Greg because he's like, oh, let's just be friends, and he said before, he's like, oh, let's pursue a relationship that would lead to marriage,
right?
And then all of a sudden he says, let's just be friends. I'm like, what?
Because I had a fear. Okay, all right.
So I was like, oh man, this guy just playing with my heart.
Well, my heart was
willy-nilly. Okay. He's a willy-nilly.
I wasn't trying to be willy-nilly. Okay.
So basically, he's still my friend, but I need to get to work. So I called him, and I was like, please, could you come give me a ride? I really need a ride from you.
And on my side, the guys were like, I'm not going. I don't care. And the girls, I didn't say that to her, but the guys in my dorm were saying to me, Greg, go take your girlfriend to work. I'm like, she's not my girlfriend, kind of thing, right? Because we had gotten into an argument of sorts, you know. So then she was like, Greg, can you come drive me to the thing? And I had my car was like my Buick LeSabre, which I love. I call it my luxury car. It was a 1990 Buick LeSabre. I love it. Anyway, so what happens? It finally worked because usually it doesn't work. You know, it had some kind of issue because all my cars always had issues. But this one, that time, it actually worked. I was able to go pick her up at her place and drive her to her job. Then I drove myself back in time to go back and go to my classes. So I was just like, okay. Then afterward I said, I'll be back to pick you up. So then when I went to go pick her up, she said to me,
I think I'm going to go with this other missionary board, right, instead of the one that, you know, I was thinking about before.
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg's like, oh, how about this?
Well, no, the way it goes like this, right? He says, Greg, you ever thought of leaving your current mission board to come join my mission board, you know? And I said, you ever thought of leaving your current mission board to joining my mission board and marry an evangelist, right? And she was like, it went dead silent right there. You know, she was like, right? And so I dropped her at our house, and I was like, she's going to call me on this one. She's going to call me on this. I know it because you know, after a certain time, you kind of figure out how people work out, you know? This is probably like all rambling to you guys, probably not making any kind of sense. But to us, to us, it's like this is like gold.
Historical.
This is historical facts here. You know, it's gonna be like put it on the internet so people can have that forever how we met. And then so what happens is like, you know, so no sooner have I got back to my dorm, you know, after dropping her off.
I was kind of upset
She was
because
upset
it's like,
because
you know, like here it is. You just told me let's have a relationship that will lead to marriage,
right,
and then after that, let's just be friends.
right.
And then all of a sudden, hey, why don't you go with my mission board and marry an evangelist, which is obviously marrying him.
Right.
And I was like, this kid's going up and down and up and down and up and down. I don't know. I'm like, where can I peg this guy? You know, like, does he like me? Does he not? Does he like me? Does he not? Like, what? What's up?
It was so weird. Like, we were friends before, and it was totally cool. And then afterwards, we got into a relationship, and it got totally weird. And then it got cool again, because what happened was this. Right, so Amy told me at one point, there was like this thing called, I can't tell you any details about where we were. I can just tell you, like, because I don't want to drop information. It's just like, I just don't want to do it. I just want to give you some, like, the story just be about us. So where we were, they had like some kind of like a events that they had, and so what happened? She invited me to have like a cup of coffee with her, and I was like, so then, you know, after I said all this stuff, she invited me home to have a better house with her roommate there to have a cup of coffee. So when I went there, I mean, I sat down for like 1 second. She gave me a cup of coffee, right? And I was like, hot chocolate. And I was like, I started slurping on it, and she's like, okay, time to get out. I was like, okay. All right, so then I left. And then,
because I invited him over to talk to him, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to talk to you anymore.
I was like,
get out.
I didn't finish drinking. I was like, a little bit. It's like, get out. All right, so I was like, all right. And then after that was like,
and you didn't know where you stood there either. Like,
So then I was like, okay, you know what, this is weird. So anyway, so we have so many stories. Oh, good night. But okay, so the thing was like there was a Valentine's Day banquet approaching, right? And my last name is Valentine, Greg Valentine. My name. So every year I always do something Valentine related because I feel as though, you know what, I'm just like wasting a day if I don't send them my own name. I'm like, come on, gotta do something. Yo, it's Valentine. So what happens is that the Valentine's Day like banquet was approaching, and so.
And I thought he was gonna ask me
because we had kind of ironed out a lot of things by then.
So I thought, okay, well,
because we tried to avoid each other too. By the way, we're trying to just avoid each other. Like I'd walk around this way, like through the campus, and then she would appear on that side, and so her was the same thing for her too. Like she would come through the back entrance of the thing
to avoid him,
to avoid me, and I'd be like, hi,
and I'd be like, what in the world? I have to see him. I mean, I came to back entrance on purpose not to see him.
I'd like fall out of a tree, like hey, how you doing, kind of thing.
Or he'd be like parking his car, like right where I was coming in on that campus.
And she's like, dang it, it's him again. Or so it was like, you know, we had to like, so we tried to avoid each other, and then so I had like guys I was working with, and they would come and saying like, you know, it's like that Greg likes you, he'll never give up on you, kind of thing, you know. And so they were like always. So finally, the Valentine's Day banquet thing was coming, right? I think I'm gonna run out of space before I get done with this. The Valentine's Day banquet was coming, and I wanted to go with her, but at the same time, though, she said that she was gonna go with her mission board, and that she had decided different mission board, and then she was gonna write a letter and an acceptance letter and all kind of things. And she started typing up the thing and said, I'm going. So I'm like, all right, fine. So then she thought I was gonna take her to the Valentine's Day banquet. So I thought I was gonna take her too, but I thought, well, I don't want to muddy the waters. So I'm gonna just go with somebody else. So I was gonna go with somebody else, and I asked somebody else, and they said sure. And then we were like,
guess what I did? I went and I dry cleaned a special dress. I got all my whole outfit all ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was all like, you know, ready. Like he was just gonna ask me, like we could go as friends, okay? But I was gonna get prettied up. And dude, did I find out that the guy be asking somebody else?
Right, I asked somebody else to go with me because I didn't want to mess things up. Because I mean, you know, but at the same time, there was like, it's all kind of like, I don't know, psychological stuff. And long story short, I asked somebody else. I told her that I asked somebody else, and she was really cool with that. She was calm, and that really made me want to like just go with her and forget the other person, you know. But then I said, okay, well, you know, I made a commitment to go with this person. And then so what happened was that they actually, get this, they canceled the banquet. Okay, because of the inclement weather. There was a snowstorm coming, an ice storm, okay? And the ice storm was so bad that they actually canceled. This is now in 2000.
Year 2000.
February 14th, year 2000, is when they canceled the banquet, right? So so what happened was like I immediately went to Amy. I said, Amy, would you like to go get some like Chinese food down in by Walmart over there. They're near Walmart area, you know. I guess I'll say Glens Falls. In Glens Falls. And so I was like, so she was like, yeah. So, and it was like a dangerous time to go out driving. And we were out there in the ice storm driving, just going to get some Chinese food. And the whole place was empty. And it was there that we just kind of decided to go on a nice date. And we walked through, we went to Walmart. And then we had like, what do? We got like then we got the things from Walmart, the jelly beans. No, when did the jelly beans come? The jelly beans came in later, right? Okay,
But
so then
the focus on the dinner.
okay, so on the dinner was really cool. We had such a good time laughing and joking, and it was like our first official date was on Valentine's Day, on February 14th, 2000. And then it was 2 days later that we decided to start a relationship. You know,
Because we said we really can't see ourselves with anybody else.
exactly.
Meaning that we really do like each other,
Hmm.
and we really would like to get married.
Yes.
And why are we playing? We don't need to be playing these games anymore.
Right.
We just commit to the situation.
Right.
And no red button like exit, or
Yeah.
emergency exit.
Right.
We said no, there's no button anymore. And all our fears of, oh, it won't work out, or this and that, and this and that, and this and that, we just put them away. And we'll just pursue this relationship. We'll commit to saying we're going to pursue a relationship that would lead to marriage, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And we kind of like realized that that was our goal. And no matter what, we were going to commit to that.
Yeah. We're about to run out of time on our speaker here. So shortly after that, on February 16th, we committed to the relationship. And then after that, I talked with her father via email, and I asked permission to court her, and to finish the court, to date, to marry, all in one shot. And Dad gave me permission for all three. And so that was awesome. And they liked my last name. They liked Valentine was a really cool last name. Anyway, I'm about to run out of time here. It's 22 minutes.
So we are the Valentines.
Yeah, the Valentine. I mean, there's so much more story to tell.
Well, there's so much.
I mean,
it could be a
there's so much.
second.
Let's
It could
make
be a second episode.
Yeah, so this one will be good. It's 22 minutes, and pretty much, this will end this here as a part one.
So we are the Valentines, and
Yeah.
that is how we met,
Yeah.
and how we pursued a relationship, and
Courtship.
how courtship, and how God has brought us together, and now we've been married for 16 years,
Yeah.
almost 16 years,
Mhm.
and we just want to tell you a little bit of our history. This
Yeah.
is a history for ourselves, and a history for our children, and a history, if anybody wants to listen to it, for other people.
And remember, the most important thing is that you love Jesus with all your heart. That's one. And then make sure you find a person that loves Jesus with all their heart as well. Next thing is that you have a lot of things in common. You must have a lot of things in common to marry somebody. I mean, more than just the way they look and the way they sound and what they make you feel. A lot of things in common, like how to raise children, and how to talk about how to get through difficulties. And also, like, I saw how Amy dealt with struggles and with people. And it's like, anyway, so just want to say that's pretty cool. I just want to share that. So thank you
God
so much
bless
for
you all.
listening. God bless you. Alrighty. Take care. All right, bye.
Here.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Greg, and Amy, and we're going to talk about stuff. Lots of stuff.
Hi.
All right. So,